Hey guys, I thought that I'd just go ahead and make a quick video this morning. So, um, excuse me, I'm still haven't had breakfast, and this is it. Anyway, so I got to thinking about how um, about success, because one of my viewers made a really good point that you know a lot of people will read books, they'll watch the DVDs, they'll do everything they can, and they never really succeed. Now, I want to point something out. There's a key ingredient, and that key ingredient is self-love. If you don't think that you're worthy of something, if you don't think that you deserve it, or that you're capable of it, all of it goes back to self-esteem, all of it goes back to self-love. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to give yourself the chance. Because in your subconscious mind, your conscious mind be like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch all these DVDs, I'm going to read all these books, I'm going to do all this stuff, yada yada yada. What happens is your subconscious mind sabotages you because it's in a state of, well, nobody loves me, and I don't deserve it, and I don't deserve to be loved, and I don't deserve to have this, and I don't, and it's all this negative self-talk that the subconscious does. And I mean, the subconscious does it because it was, unfortunately for a lot of us, self-hatred was a survival mechanism for us as children. I was raised Christian, and I'm sure a lot of other people were raised Christian or Muslim or, Jewish or whatever. But particularly when I was raised Christian, I knew and I saw, self-love was, a sin. You were supposed to hate yourself, you were supposed to regret your life, you were supposed to mourn your life, you were supposed to suffer. If you had any kind of money, you were supposed to give it to the church or give it away. If you had anything you loved, you were supposed to, get rid of it or give it away, sacrifice it. So your subconscious mind says, well, the way I survive in this tribe is to do these things, even if it's incredibly self-destructive. See, some people think, oh, well, certain things are selfish. Well, no, most things are self-destructive. Taking care of your body, yeah, it is selfish. Not taking care of your body is self-destructive. So, for example, when some preacher or some tribe says you should hate your body, you should have humility to the point of self-degradation, your subconscious mind goes, okay, this is the way we survive. And it's very primitive. But, the subconscious mind, all it wants you to do is survive. It doesn't say how well you survive, it doesn't care how you survive, it just says survive. So, when the conscious mind says, I'm going to go up against the subconscious mind, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem. And a lot of it is getting to the point of having self-love. Now, for example, there's various tools that people can use, right? Let's look at the concept of delusion, right? Let's say somebody is deluded that that if they become a paralegal, they'll make money to become a lawyer. When they become a lawyer, they'll be a great lawyer. They'll be considered the Superman of the lawyer of legal field or whatever. They'll put a bunch of corrupt bureaucrats and prosecutors and judges behind bars. The masses of people will adore them and shout their name, and they'll be loved, and for cleaning up the system. And then this guy thinks, well, after, when he's doing that, he'll meet his perfect woman, who will also be a lawyer, and she'll be the Wonder Woman of the legal world, and they'll join forces, and they'll continue to clean up the corruption and the wickedness and the evil that is in the legal field. Say this person has that delusion, and say they're so entrenched in that delusion that they, they become a lawyer. And they're not a great lawyer, but they're a good lawyer. They're still making six figures. Still making six figures. And they win some cases, they lose some cases. Maybe he writes a book, maybe he doesn't. But it's, maybe he does write a book, but it doesn't sell that much. And he's a good lawyer. He's a good one. He's one of the good guys. And then let's say he marries, he meets some woman who's a legal secretary. She's not, great looking, but, she's a good person. She's a good woman. And then she, they get married, they have a couple of kids, and his life is much better than it was before he became a lawyer. But at the same time, his delusion of cleaning up the system, well, it proves to be a delusion. Now, was that delusion wrong? Was that delusion wrong? Was he wrong to have that? Not really. Not really, because it helped him better his life. It helped him better the lives of others. And, he's somewhat of a success, according to other people. Now, we can sit there and we can, pretend this guy has plenty of self-love and plenty of confidence and all that other stuff. His delusion was still pretty helpful. Now, let's look at another person. Say they do not have self-love. They have self-hatred, and it shows in their life, where they fail constantly, and when they get to the root of the problem, they have to deal with the trauma of not having that self-love. So they work hard, work through it. And let's say this person picks up, watches one of my videos, picks up one of the books that I'm going to be writing pretty soon. Talks about self-love. Talks about love yourself the way a worshiper would treasure their deity. Treasure yourself the way a worshiper would treasure their deity. And the other one, which is, it is, I apologize, it's really early in the morning, I'm just having a blank out. It's, acknowledge the authority you have in and over your own life, right? Yeah, that's it. So, let's say they decide to claim themselves as God over their own life. And they really start to love themselves. Now remember, the subconscious mind in their past said, self-love is bad. The way we survive is by humiliation, failure, all this other stuff, right? But if the delusion that he is his own God, and whether it's a delusion or not, who's to say, right? We can't prove it, we can't not prove it. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Right? I mean, I cannot sit there and say, well, there's no koala bears in this motorhome, therefore koala bears don't exist. Right? I mean, that's stupid. Right? Because we know koala bears exist somewhere else, just not in the motorhome. And so let's say this person with all that delusion does become a success through intense self-love. And delusion was helpful. Now I get a few people occasionally telling me that I'm delusional, telling me that I can't succeed. because of, because I'm bald, or I'm fat, or I'm, you know, below poverty level, or, below poverty level for some Americans. But not for the rest of the world. I mean, for most of the world, I'm having a muffin and coffee for breakfast. There's a lot of people this morning in other countries, they're not having anything. They're going to be digging through a landfill, and if they find a couple of bugs, that's their breakfast. We here in America, in some ways, we're kind of delusional. Because we're focused on a certain lifestyle that most of the world can only fantasize about. You take somebody from a foreign country, you take some little kid from a foreign country who's grown up in a landfill, a literal landfill. And let's say you raise them in, you can raise them, in any part of the country, for the most part. They're going to be able to walk into a grocery store and be absolutely blown away by the amount of food. They're going to be amazed by all the fat people walking around. They're going to be amazed by all those things. And part of that will change that child's subconscious mind and help that child see the world a different way. See, I can also see the world in a different way, and I know what it's like to be miserable. I know what it's like to live like this. But I also have done enough research and know that it's possible to live in luxury, like Oprah Winfrey does, or Tony Robbins does, or some people might say, well, no, those are exceptions to the rule. Well, not necessarily. There's more millionaires and billionaires alive today than at any other time in history. There's people who become millionaires just by starting some little business on their computer in their parents' garage. And the key to it all, is self-love. And if you have supportive people in your life, that's great. And that's one interesting thing about YouTube. Right? And I'm going to make this my last point. If you notice, the people who are successful on YouTube are the people who love themselves. They've typically got good, healthy, middle-class, suburban lives. You look at somebody like iJustine, or Jacqueline Glenn, Charles Trippy, Dude Like Hella, Caters, I can go down the list, PewDiePie, Atheist Island, or not, who is the Amazing Atheist. And you look at their lives, and, well, with the exception of Atheist Island, but, the majority of these people, they make happy, good quality videos, but they've got a supportive family, they've got supportive friends, they love themselves. They truly, deeply love themselves. Now, the people who kind of suck on YouTube, the people who are, making videos, which you can find a lot of these people who are crying to the camera, love me, love me, love me. It's because they don't have self-love. So they're waiting to be given success rather than achieve success, because in their heart, they don't love themselves enough. And that's why I harp on the concept of self-love. That's why I tell you, self-love is what this world needs, and you can see this in most books. And it's not New Age hype. It's not, it's not, a fancy idea Tony Robbins came up with so he can sell more videos or something. It's a basic fundamental fact of reality that most people are too deluded to understand and see, because their lives have been so filled with so much pain and so much trouble and so much suffering. Their subconscious is saying, hate yourself. We're told by our government, you're bad, you need us to beat you down or else you're a horrible person. We're told by church, you're a sinner, you're a horrible person, only the death of God's son, Jesus or whatever, is going to, make you whole, and even then you're still a horrible sinner. We're told by corporations, you're not good enough unless you have a certain type of car, a certain type of clothing, unless you're living in a big fancy house, unless you're, doing this and this and this and this. We're told every day by hundreds of people, in hundreds of ways, that we're not worthy, that we're sinners, that we're bad, that we're criminals, that we're monsters. And we tolerate it because we do not have a foundation of self-love. And that foundation of self-love is what's going to help you as the individual succeed. You might not succeed with your goals and dreams, but you know what? If you loving yourself and putting that passion towards your goals and dreams, however fantastic they are, if it helps you improve your life, then so be it. If it helps you improve your life, then it's good to have those delusions. It's good to have those goals. It's good to love yourself. And don't let anyone ever tell you to hate yourself and to lose hope and to become apathetic. Loving yourself is the key ingredient to all of it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to enjoy my breakfast now. So, be good to yourself, folks, and start loving yourself. You deserve to love yourself.